Okay, welcome back to the second video, and in this video I will cover what you need to achieve M3 and D3 of task 3, which are the final merit and distinction criteria. So for the merit criteria, looking at the help sheet, it says you need to assess the selection, planning and implementation of the creative and therapeutic activity. And then the distinction part is you must also recommend improvements to the planning and implementation. So for this section, you're really going to be thinking about, did it work? Why did it work? Did it not work? Why did it not work? And then what would you change? So point one really covers the essence of the task, which is this task requires depth and detail. Tip: the best way to meet this is to include lots of specific examples. And by specific, I mean it's card making that you're doing as an activity with service users who are students. Try to avoid generic things that you would change and go for more specifics of, you find that for such and such students that this didn't work so well and this is what you would change, giving specific details of the materials. It's hard to explain without actually giving you the answers. The second step then is complete an analysis of your evaluation forms. To do this, you should type up the key themes that emerged, e.g. all service users enjoyed the use of creative materials, most service users didn't think there was enough time. You should include a subtitle for each question and discuss what you find. Number 3 is to complete a personal reflection while discussing the following: what went well, what didn't go so well, and how much was enjoyed. And again, all I can keep saying over and over again is examples, examples, examples. Each of those should include multiple examples. And finally, you must make recommendations for improvements. You must suggest at least 3 improvements, and for each include the following detail. Describe the change you would make, so what would you actually do differently? Explain why you would make this change, so as it says, why are you making that change? Is it to make it better? And why will it make it better? And lastly, explain the positive impact you would hope this change would have. So if you were to do it again with that change, what difference would you expect to see? So let's flip over to the template and go through these sections. Now, I forgot to add into the past video, actually including your evidence of you doing it. So you're going to take photos, or I will help you to take photos, which you'll put into your report. And then this is your evaluation questionnaire. So very straightforward. You will make a version of this. I would like you to include the titles that are in my template, but I want you to make your own. So please don't print this out, hence this. Ensure you make your own, don't steal mine. So the questions would be things like, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much did you enjoy it? So the service user would circle, they would fill in what they enjoyed, what they think they gained from it. Was there anything they didn't like about it? And can you think of anything that could be improved? So on to the actual evaluation then. You've got this little statement. After the activity, I ensured that each service user completed an evaluation questionnaire. Below are the key themes that were highlighted. Now that is okay for you to keep. You can use that bit in your report. If you'd like to reword it, it would be great, but it's not the end of the world if you don't reword that sentence, because effectively it is what you're going to do. Questionnaire analysis, average score of enjoyment. So that's worked out by adding all of the scores together from your service users out of 5, then dividing by the number of service users, and that'll give you an average that you can put there. And this indicates that, and whatever it indicates. So if it's a lower score, it indicates that they didn't enjoy it. If it's a higher score, it indicates that they did enjoy it. What did they enjoy about this activity? And then just putting in some examples of what they said. So the more detailed your evaluation sheets are from your fellow classmates, the better and the easier this section is going to be for you to do. And effectively, I don't want you to list every single comment, because you could have 10 different evaluation forms. I don't want you to list all 10 responses for each of these. What I want you to do is read the responses and take away the key messages that they're saying. So, you might say 9 out of 10 service users said that they really enjoyed the creative element of this, that they enjoyed working with lots of different materials. One service user commented that he really enjoyed using the glitter, something along those lines. Take the key messages away from it and go through each of these. And then lastly, overall, the evaluation questionnaires seem to indicate that. And again, just a little summary. What is it saying? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it a mixed bag? For you to summarize. So that is from your questionnaires for the first part. The second bit is a personal reflection, i.e. what you felt within yourself. The good part about personal reflection is there is no right and wrong answer. It is really just here about you showing your ability to reflect and to analyze and to assess how everything went. So what went well? I feel that, and literally, what do you think went well? Think about it from your point of view. Think about, did the service users seem happy? What signs were they giving you? Were they smiling? Were they laughing? Did they make any comments to you about what they were enjoying? Having an overview of the whole activity, were there things that you thought, yep, that worked exactly as I planned to? And again, I can't stress it enough, include lots of examples. If you're stuck for words, if you're stuck for what to write, chock it full of examples. What didn't go so well is exactly the same. Was there anything that you noticed didn't go well? It doesn't even necessarily mean that the service users picked up on it. It's maybe just something that you picked up on. So one example I can think of is, as a teacher, having 4 different classes that I'm going to carry this out on. One thing that could go wrong is that my first class may use far too many of the materials, which means I don't have enough for the next group of service users. I would give examples of the types of materials that were used up, and I might also suggest that next time I need to be more careful with them. The one thing I would say at this point is don't go into too much detail about what you would do differently next time for this bit, because that's going to feed into the final part of this. It doesn't matter if you have the odd bit of solutions, it is good writing, and it's logical to put them within that, but you don't want to use up all of your solutions and not have anything to write about for the distinction part. And lastly, again, just a little summary. How much was it enjoyed? Overall, I feel that it was, and what your general feeling about everything is. If you had an example or a statement just to fill that bit in, it would be great. And the final part then is recommendations for improvement. So one change I would make is, and a description of the change. I would make this change because, so explain why you would actually want to make that change. And by making this change, I hope that. So tell me what you would expect to happen because of that. And you need to do that 3 times. And that is it for this previous section. For the merit personal reflection, I would say that you need to be looking at about half a page for each. What went well and what didn't go well, and a little paragraph, maybe 4 to 5 lines for how much was it enjoyed. So let's say a page and a half to have an adequate amount of depth and detail within it. For the recommendations to improve, a chunky paragraph should be enough for these. So again, if you include enough examples, you're probably not much beyond maybe about that sort of size of a paragraph for each of them. So filling a page, again a page and a half for your recommendations. If you complete this along with the past task, then you will have everything you need to achieve all of the criteria for this report, which is P4, P5, M3 and D3.